Juno has been seen as this year's Little Miss Sunshine in that it's a contestant at the Oscars in the Best Film category. Indie-spirited little movie, although, obviously studio background, which has made a huge amount of money in America. It's gone past the $100 million mark, despite the fact that it looks for all the world like this, edgy little indie oddball, offbeat, strange story, starring Ellen Page, who I think is terrific. If you remember when Hard Candy came out a couple of years ago, and I just said this kid is fantastic. Hard Candy is extraordinarily edgy horror movie come, slasher thriller about a young girl who turns the table on some sleazy internet creep, and it's brilliantly done. Anyway, so here she is in Juno. Story is, she's a 16-year-old, smart-mouthed 16-year-old girl who discovers that she's pregnant.
No, it's Morgan Freeman. Do you have any bones that need collecting? I'm pregnant.
What? On this blog?
Yeah, it's Bleeker's.
It's probably just a food baby. Did you have a big lunch?
No, this is not a food baby, all right? I've taken 3 pregnancy tests, and I am for shiz up the spout. I'm telling you I'm pregnant, and you're acting shockingly cavalier.
Is this for real? For real, for real?
Notion that I was searching for on the first take.
So, are you gonna go to Havenbrook or Women Now? Because you need a note from your parents for Havenbrook.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm gonna go to Women Now, just because they help out women now.
Now, it's one of the criticisms that's been lodged against the movie is that, hey, teenagers don't talk that smart. The film is written by a woman called Diablo Cody, who, this is all the tabloids have picked up on this, used to be a stripper. Or she, at some point in her life, was a stripper. And she was rated by one of the American magazines the 38th smartest person in Hollywood. And so, consequently, this is a tabloid story waiting to happen.
It's almost an insult, isn't it?
Only 38th smartest, blimey. Yes, exactly. What number was Tom Cruise? And some people have said, look, it's far too clever for its own good. Kids don't talk in this smart way. That's rather like saying those Marx Brothers movies are rubbish. Nobody talks like Groucho Marx, or all that Shakespeare is rubbish. Nobody actually talks like that. I can't stand it when people say that in itself is a criticism. It's like the Quentin Tarantino thing. There's nothing wrong with Quentin Tarantino making people talk in a way that people don't talk like that. The problem is that he can't do anything else, and in movies in which he wants to do something else, he fails. In this case, the key voice in this is the voice of Diablo Cody, but I don't see any problem with Ellen Page talking in the way that she does, or her friends talking in the way she does. It's a smart, funny, inventive, laugh-out-loud script. Boom. Point one. Point number 2, what then happens is that Juno decides to keep the baby and have the baby adopted, and she then looks around for a couple to adopt the unborn child, and she then finds this very, very middle class couple who are desperate to adopt her unborn child, and it's a comedy about the way in which their relationship sort of works out. And some other people have said, oh well, therefore it is a political movie about the pro-life movement. It's not. I mean, it's just because she decides to have the baby doesn't make the film a political statement. If there is a statement to be made, it is about the fact that that the young protagonist actually has ideas and thinks for herself and isn't completely all at sea. And also, it is much more radical in its attitude towards its characters than, for example, a comedy like Knocked Up, which again, it's somebody gets pregnant, decides to have the baby, and the sexual politics of Knocked Up seems to me to be far more suspect, which is that in the end, the dorky fat guy is going to end up with a glamorous hot TV presenter because of this pregnancy, which is just like, what world is this happening in? This is just kind of like Revenge of the Nerds made into some pseudo-realistic fantasy. So what you have with Juno, you have a story of a young, smart heroine who is kind of in control of her own destiny, even when she's kind of out of control of it. She makes a decision that appears to be her own decision. It's made for reasons which are very personal. When she goes to the Help Women Now clinic, she doesn't like the smell of it, and it's a bit difficult. So she says, "Oh well, I'm going to have the baby and have the baby adopted." And on all those things, it's not a polemical movie. It's not meant to be a polemical movie. What it's meant to be is an entertaining comedy with people that you could like, people that you actually think, I want to spend some time with these people. They're fun. They're entertaining. It's directed by Jason Reitman, who is Ivan Reitman's son, and he does a much better job here than he does in things like, for example, Thank You for Smoking. Good supporting performances from the rest of the cast. Now, again, I've seen this a couple of times. First time I saw it, I really, really liked it in a way that I never really liked Little Miss Sunshine. I always thought Little Miss Sunshine kind of copped out and, it ended up wanting us all to love the things that actually I think it should have had us hating, the young underage beauty pageants, which I just think that stuff is creepy. And yet the film film, and of course when you listen to the director commentary on Little Miss Sunshine, it's all there. That's exactly what they wanted. In the case of Juno, it is that most lovely of things, genuinely offbeat and charming, and dealing with a subject that could be a total minefield, particularly in America. You can't make a populist movie in America about a 16-year-old pregnant girl, but you know what? They just did.